Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchy Steve. Today I'm joined by all these fine nerds. We have Brian Colin, the creator of Grimm, hanging out with us today. We also have Carlos Rivera, the creator, or not the creator, but the creator of Volcanic Nerds,
The creator now, yes.
and the creator because he is our GM. We also have Robin Miller in the house with us, author. You can find their works in the links down below, as well as Stephen Partridge, also author and writer. With that, I'm just going to chuck it to the GM.
Alrighty. Well, everyone, a few weeks ago was the happiest day of my life when Baldur's Gate 3 released. A world filled with such lore and depth. But unfortunately, my players are not playing in that world. They're playing in mine. But just like in Baldur's Gate, death is around the corner everywhere you turn. That's why you should save a lot. And as a game master, I don't kill my players. My players find very creative ways to kill themselves. And I'm not even going to roll a dice for this one because I don't want my dice involved with whatever happened last week. Whoever wants it can take it, introduce themselves, and explain what had happened.
Sure, I'll jump in there.
I'll take it.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead, Dave. All right, so I'll be playing Flask. He's a twisted alchemist, and what I remember from when we played pre-Gen Con, the party got all kinds of divided and all kinds of screwy nonsense happened. And I'll let some of the other players fill in some details. But I know that we basically set the ship to self-destruct and had the GTFO over to another vessel. So since you talked about, wanting to go, Dave, I'll toss it to you.
Sure. As you mentioned, the self destruct button was pushed by someone who did not look at the timer on it at all, and it wasn't Lefty Lawson, who I am playing, who is part man, part miner, all man Sheen, which is basically a cyborg in this world. But yes, I got trapped in the engineering room because I wanted to try and take out Dorothy, our AI. But it turns out she kind of Uno reverse carded me and locked me in and began poisoning me and our new friends Jax and Nova. And we almost died in that room. Only through the generosity of the GM and a bag of hit points did we manage to survive that encounter and make it off the ship onto their piece of crap ship.
It was all you guys. I had nothing to do with that. You guys live and die by the dice. That's it.
And while all that stuff was happening, my character Buckaroo, a emo bot on treads that tends to dress like a clown with a big red rubber nose, was teamed with Mara as we were trying to make our way through. And lo and behold, what I believe to now be, I guess, my nemesis was a doppelganger of myself, that I thought was real, but a really dark, even darker version of myself. So I tried to honk my nose that shuts down all electronics within an area for a number of rounds, including myself, thinking I was sacrificing myself to save Mara and the Legion. But little did I know, my doppelganger was just a mirage. But eventually we made our way through and are now on board that other ship.
That's right. Killer juggalos aren't real. They can't hurt you.
Who do you want to toss it to, Brian?
Steven?
Okay, so while we were split up, gang, Flask and Skylar ended up having a small heart-to-heart where Skylar told Flask that his job does not define him. And then we encountered this dude who is one of the Grimm, and he wears a robe, and he's like a cultist, and we thought he was in the suitcase, but then he wasn't in the suitcase because he was being a nemesis out of the suitcase. And so we big noped out of there after he gave us a whole spiel about using these worms to create some nonsense, and definitely zombified his cohort who was dead. And so that's kind of a thing now. And we got away from there. I will confess, Skylar was the one who started the self-destruct. She definitely gave more time after. So like that was the thing too. It was very reckless though, because that's my trait. By the way, I'm playing Skylar. And also I apologize for my very little voice. I'm getting over being sick. Mara hefted Buckaroo as he was in his, or as they were in a kind of catatonic state, I guess. And they both big noped out of where they were. And Lefty struggled to get this door open. He was with the cyborg child who was with Jax. And they eventually got through this door, and we all made it by the skin of our teeth onto their ship, only to learn that there's like this space pirate guy, I guess, who was a nemesis of Jax. And he came through the mic, I think, I can't remember, and said some menacing things, and that's where I'm gonna drop it.
Yo, my head canon is Mara using Buckaroo like a scooter, and that's how they actually got out.
Yes, I subscribe to this analysis.
And I have one thing written down on the last bit of my notes. I can't recall if it's the name that we have donned as our Legion, or if it may be the Space Raiders that we're up against, but it was Black Hole Surfers.
That's us.
That was the name.
Okay.
That's you guys, yeah. Alrighty. Even though you weren't here last week, you still want to introduce Mara? Robin?
Pardon?
Even though you weren't here last week, do you still want to introduce Mara?
Oh, yeah. So Mara is basically just like has that awesome screw hawk and is quite irreverent and probably more likely to punch you than figure out something using their head.
Mm-hmm.
What's his headbutt?
Indeed. So with the gathering of everything, last game a torment was rolled. Just wanted to finish up some stuff before we got to it. So as you all Lefty, Mara, Skylar, Buckaroo will all receive this, and it's actually going to echo throughout the ship as well, almost like you have all been temporarily hacked altogether. It's almost like the universe is giving you a literal message, and it says, a chittering cry will commence across the cosmos as the teeth and pincers of all insectoids mass in perfect unison. Was it a bad dream? Was this something that just happened? You guys are unsure. It's never happened to you guys before. And with that, Jax would chime up and say, yeah, another day, another time we're gonna die, man. I mean, you like this sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Jax, you got any bug spray on this here bucket of bolts?
Bug spray. We're lucky that it wasn't from hitting up your pantry. We wouldn't have anything to eat right now. Shit, man. You've seen our weapons.
That's not good. Hey, Flask, I know we haven't always been on the best of terms, but Skylar says you seem to be having a change of hearts. You think you can whip up some industrial strength raid or something?
Certainly give it a try. I don't know how much
like a lot. We're going
supplies.
to need a lot. However much you think we need, like quadruple that.
Right, but I mean, it all depends upon what I have to work with.
Well, just work on it like your life depends on it.
Because it does.
It might.
You heard that too?
Yeah, and bugs creep me out. I still have flesh.
As they should. Jax, is there a charging station? I take the red nose off my face, and underneath it where a nose should be, it's all dented in and burnt and scarred up, and you can see that's why I've been covering it up with the red honking nose. But I'm looking for somewhere to charge it.
Yeah, I mean, Crowbar's no longer with us, so take his spot right there. as he points to kind of like a unkempt corner of the ship. Like, the robot wasn't too concerned with cleanliness, just the use of the charging station.
What was the name of the robot?
Crowbar.
Crowbar.
All right. So in the stuff that I had purchased with credits, Mr. GM, sir, I have a whole bunch of rations. So is that still there, or was that looted from me, or gone bad in any of the?
It's still
Stuff.
there. It's still there. Any sort of personal items or equipment you guys had before getting sucked up by the singularity was still on your persons. The additional, it was just hitting up the equipment locker that would grant additional supplies. So you have what you have plus what was found in the equipment locker.
Second question is, Lefty wants me to, whip up some kind of massive bug spray. I guess I have to start, looking around to see what supplies I might have access to try and do something. And what would I need to roll to make that happen?
I'll first ask, what supplies do you have?
Well, I mean, I as a alchemist have access to, a variety of things to do what my, my daily doses of, you know, whatever, my class skills. I can boost people and hurt people and what have you. Beyond that, I have a couple of things that I have absconded with from the surface, and then whatever we have here on this new ship.
So, with your knowledge of a bioengineer, what would you say?
Mhm.
You no, unless you have chemicals on you of like specific kind of inventory, like or items that were found, you're gonna have difficulty synthesizing something. The mushroom you have could possibly be used as a ingredient in this
Okay.
concoction you want to make. But
I have a regular mushroom and a oil slick mushroom written down, as well as a sample of algae.
Okay,
Not certain if those are.
Those can definitely be used in some sort of fashion, but for like actual killing usage, you'll need some sort of bonding to go with it. So you would need some chemicals. So it's not outside the possibilities, but you might have to get a little creative in regards of like what you're going to use as a bonding
Sure.
agent.
So I'm gonna ask Jack what he has on the ship that might be usable for the cause. And failing that, I'm gonna start walking around the ship.
So when you ask Jax about like what he might have, he definitely says like, I don't know, I'm into that science stuff and whatnot. I mean, like, we got some oil for lubricating the ship and whatnot, but if you're looking for something more potent, something more dangerous, we might have to go look inside Bert's stash. Now,
Let's look at Bert's stash then.
Bert is kind of an unhinged fellow. I mean, we're gonna have to land this ship in order to resupply. But he is kind of a goofy fellow, and there's a reason why we try to salvage some parts before seeing him. But you can either explore some more or maybe see what he got. I mean, there's plenty of things, but you guys look like you guys are survivors, so I'll oblige to what you guys want to do.
Well, I mean, it sounds like before we go to Bert's check out Bert's stash. Probably gonna need some cash.
I mean, from what I've seen, you guys have an assortment of skills and whatnot. I mean, probably try to raid his stash, but going up front might be dangerous. Maybe going as procuring folk, looking for stuff, and then after getting a lay of the land, maybe uppens our odds.
I thought that was going in a different direction.
Tell us what you can about Bert and his stash.
Bert is one of those fellas that let's just say he's not as clean behind the ear as you guys may think, man.
Much like this corner you put me in.
Maybe break character. Oh, nice one. If there were inspiration, I give it to you. Well, I mean, they call him the Wasteland Whisperer. He always has his ear down low and knows his ways around some product. He's kind of like you need it, you got it type of folks. Just don't ask where he got it from.
So is he someone that it would be wise to get on their bad side if we're going to raid his stash?
I believe Lefty is saying that we should purchase.
I mean, I'm low on credits. We could try many different ways, but
You were going to raid our ship and steal everything that we had, so that is not surprising.
are you sure you're not a shade bot and not an emo bot, man? Like,
And with the child present, nonetheless. What are you teaching, Nova?
I can't take this one to Bert, but you know, some things. This world ain't a good world, but you just don't expose them to such life and whatnot. So
Things are really different than what I remember.
If
what
you are,
remember.
Well, things were shitty and the corpse ran everything. But, I don't know. There wasn't all this talk of robbing and looting and bringing children along the way. I mean, sure, things were glum and I was going to work for free for the rest of my days, probably. I'd never be my own man again. At least I had Mara's company who would probably outlast me and live forever. And eventually maybe we'll pay her with that and become free. But, you know, all this crime. There wasn't so much crime.
But
And worms. And bugs.
But
Maybe
when
we should
you
go back
have
through.
several mouths that gotta feed, man. You'll do what you gotta do to feed them. Doesn't matter. Matters of ways. All matters is that if you go against another crew, your crew better be stronger than that. And you know what? If things are going bad in your crew, you gotta be stronger than the guy you're sleeping next to. That's the world we're in.
Interesting. Speaking of the world, do you have access to historical records? Perhaps I could download a brief history as to what has transpired since we were last around.
He looks around, Jax looks around his dump of a ship and said, "Be my guest." Like, be my guest.
All you find is smut. Not even good smut. It's all really bad. Like written at a kindergarten level.
Yes.
Okay, I have concerns about that statement.
Isn't smut usually like pretty well written, actually? In order for it to like make it, at least on AO3.
Not when it's written by degenerate space hillbillies.
Thank God this is not our sponsored game.
It's heavy pink.
Hey,
Well,
Lefty, here. You look like you're a little rough, and I can help you. Do you want me to kind of patch you up a little bit?
What are you thinking? Maybe some shatsu or
I was thinking something a bit more finessed and smaller. And when Skylar says that, one of the little nanobots just like flits out like a glowing orb and like goes in between their fingers like that.
oh, you want to hop me up on some of your techno juice?
Just you look rough, is all.
Yeah, I could use some. I could probably use some Burlo pads. Some
Okay. Well, let's
DW40.
do. So is that a presence roll, GM?
What's your ability?
I'm going to go with praise the nanotech. 1d12 HP restored to 1 PC of your choice.
What's the limit and uses of that? Is it once per day or once per day?
It's a tribute, so like I spend a neuromancy point to do it.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Sure,
that's
yeah.
a presence test, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always 12, right?
Yep. Unless you're an emo bot.
All right.
Then really fun things happen when you use them.
Yep.
No roll
All right.
needed, I think.
That is. Oh, I did not roll well. I got a 13 though.
Okay.
So, does that make it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I have a +5 presence. I just rolled an 8. That was not a great thing.
I mean,
All right,
so
so
would've
you
been better
get
if you rolled
6
them.
hit points back, right in the middle.
Oh, nice. That's exactly what I was down.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
Any more would have been a waste.
So, yeah, Skylar, these nanobots just start flooding out of the fingertips of this gauntlet. And you see that, like, the areas that were wounded on Lefty start, like, shimmering with this opalescent light and start closing up as the nanobots start, like, lifting away, almost like flecks of glitter and then coming back into the gauntlet.
Oh, that tingles a little.
So
Yeah, and it
as
might leave
this
you
is-
minty fresh if it's around your mouth.
So as this is happening, Nova is watching the spectacle happening. Then she, almost like in view of the spectacle, says, "What's that? Everybody, please give me an agility test."
Oh shit! What did you do, Skylar? Oh, I got dice. Listen.
I got a natural 20. Does that do anything special?
You don't fall.
Oh man, you said an agility check.
I was pretty close to it with a 19 before I've added my mod.
It's my new D&D dice from Barnes & Noble. They did me right.
Yes.
Well, I rolled a 16. Is DC 12?
Yes.
Because I got a lot of armor, I got to add 4, so I just made it.
Good.
Oh yeah, I forgot mine. So mine's actually an 11 because of the armor.
I failed.
Okay. So the ones that had failed, you guys are gonna no damage taken. You're just gonna stumble onto the floor, but there will be a moment before you guys will have to use a turn to get back up to do any of that. To those that are no stranger to this, you guys are under fire, almost like you guys are being raided upon.
Huh. I think that we probably are strangers to that because I think the world we come from, there's a lot less of that going on.
So as this ship is getting fired on, it's almost like you guys been through this sort of rodeo before. Sparks are flying. Jack's passed his presence test. Everyone, can you guys all roll me initiative? It's going to be D20 plus agility.
Oh snap! You know what? I'm on the floor because I have a -2 to agility. And I
Didn't get a
also
12?
what's that?
You didn't get a 12?
Well, I rolled a 16, but I have a -2 agility, and the DR is +4 on agility test. So no, I needed an 18.
If I nat 20'd, can I help him?
Fortunately, nay, but you will go tippy top first.
I got a sniffing.
It's almost like you guys are trying to save yourselves in this exact situation.
I have an 8.
8 already. Okay, so Mara, you're at the very top of this initiative. What will you be doing to fight back against these invaders firing upon your ship?
I'm sorry, who did you ask?
Mara.
Oh. So, do we see them immediately, or are they like...
So as you guys are getting your bearings, you guys can see
Yeah.
on the main screen and
Okay.
any sort of side panels, there is a ship firing upon you.
Good, I return fire.
Okay. So you get behind the console
Mhm.
and do the 50 buffs. Can you give me a presence test? I'll make it a DR 10 because you're a weapons expert and these it's almost like okay, all the reasoning in the world didn't matter. Got it.
Yeah.
So let's say you fire wide as this goes off as Jack. I think that may end your turn if right, unless you have any sort of
Yes.
abilities. You know, okay. So as Jack sees Lefty just stumble on over, he's up in the initiative, and though he is not a pilot, he will attempt to kind of maneuver any sort of out of the way. The enemy vessel is next in this initiative. They fire, and with Jack's just kind of like it's like he doesn't know how to really drive, but at the same exact time, you don't need a lot of knowledge to know how to hit left. So the ship kind of rocks a bit hard, but not enough to do any sort of damage to, you know, the occupants inside.
Corkscrew, Jax, corkscrew.
I don't know how to do that, buddy. As Lefty, you're up in this initiative.
I will go to. I would stand up and push him out of the way and jump into the pilot seat.
Got it.
This as I recall, the ship doesn't have very good weapons.
Yeah, these must be desired. But
what can I pick up on the sensors?
So we can pick up on the sensors is you are flying through kind of like an asteroid area. Almost like there's a bunch of debris flying in the area. There's some asteroids, there's debris from your previous ship. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of space junk in the area, while the other ship is maneuvering its way through, taking pot shots here and there.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna head for I'm gonna head for the heaviest cluster of asteroids. Try and use it.
Got it. Go wrong. That. Can you give me a DR10 presence test just to make your way through?
All right. And what I'm looking for is a decent size one, so that I can try and like land on it.
Okay.
All right. Oh, that's a 18. These numbers are a little hard to read from my old eyes. And that's presence, which I get a 1, so that's a 19. But I also get a +4 on presence tests for piloting, so well over a 20.
Okay. So you definitely find your asteroid. You've almost like piloting this ship is a piece of cake, you know?
Yeah, so my goal is to kind of like I don't know, like maybe like because maybe they're spacecraft. I don't know what kind of like landing gear they have, like if it's magnetized or they have like claws or whatever. But I want to try and go into it, go around the asteroid and kind of land on the backside of it out of view. So hopefully they'll pass us.
Okay. The only question I have in all of that is, when do you corkscrew?
That's coming.
Okay. So as you make your way through, you're taking shelter through the asteroid, and you're landing. You're about to land, right?
Yes.
Okay. Skylar, you are up in this initiative.
Okay. I want to jack into the system. And Skylar, I think being a technomaniac and everything, I think Skylar's job is largely like assisting Lefty a lot of times. So I want to get a lay of the land of like what the capabilities are for this thing. Like we're talking warp speed, cloaking, shields, whatever we got. And I want to try to basically Uhuru/Sulu this, where like basically she's trying to help Lefty do whatever he's doing, but better. Because I figure that's probably kind of the dynamic we have as a crew anyway. So that's kind of what I'm going for.
I feel like you get into the systems and you're like, oh my god, this thing's a death trap. We're all going to die.
Yeah, that is probably very accurate. And at which point, Skylar would probably call it special.
Okay, cool. So that's the help action. And as we established, if you go into details how you're doing things, I actually am kind of lower the DR bit. So if you can give me a DR 12 presence test for assistance.
Okay.
And then Lefty will be able to.
I got a 19 plus 5, 24.
Okay. So Lefty, you'll be able to add a +1 to your piloting. I need to apologize to Buckaroo because Buckaroo should have gone right after Mara. If you can just please take your turn now.
I had been knocked down, so I'm pulling myself back up to the treads. If I can do anything else, the only thing I'm doing, because I know I would just get in the way otherwise, so I'm still going to try and plug into the ship to see if there's any data that I can download to try and get myself more up to speed with what's going on in this time period.
Okay, sure thing. I'll get you that data in a bit, all right?
Sure.
Alrighty, Flask, you're up in this initiative.
All right. So does Jack say something about, them being raiders? Do we like is that a snap? Oh, we're being fired upon, and we have to make suppositions, like trying to see this from, our character's perspective.
From your character, especially Flask, since you lived corporate life, it's not that you're not unfamiliar with space pirates, if you will. You know what I mean? People that may go about living their lives in other type of ways. To you, the first thing that may come to your mind is that, wow, I didn't think this. They talked about this in the guidebook, but in the employee's handbook, I didn't think I could get a chance to use my information.
Oh my god!
So,
it's like the active shooter drills from corporate active shooter drills.
So based off of that, is there any way to like? This is going to come across as dumb, but reinforce or like lock the external doors.
Absolutely.
So that if they're going to try and board us, that it'll be a lot harder on them.
Absolutely. In fact, being a biochemist, I would say you have in your kit a bunch of heating equipment, you know what I mean, that you can definitely use to kind of like help do that. And if for whatever reason it's not up to snuff, Jax definitely has tools to do minor repairs, but definitely hot enough to start welding some stuff. So absolutely, you can do
I don't want to trap us in here.
Flask, you're sealing our coffin.
Yeah, I don't want to like seal us in, but I don't know, like, if there is like anything more than just lock the doors. Like,
Don't you dare,
trying to think of something.
I got a plan. Their ship is much nicer than ours, isn't it?
Very.
Buckaroo, Mara, you guys ready for a boarding action?
I will assume the position.
Let's go.
So you can definitely reinforce the door if that's what you're gonna do, Flask.
I'm not going to weld anything, but like if there's
We just make it harder
Sure.
for people to get in.
yes,
You can definitely do that.
but I mean
Alrighty.
if they're talking about us getting out, I don't want to slow them down. So
I would say you're kind of like on the ready if you need to be out the way.
yeah, I'll be on the ready.
So I think I'm like, as I like perform the maneuvers, I'm like running down the plan. All right, guys, when they pass us, I'm going to corkscrew by, flinging Mara and Buckaroo onto them, and then we're going to book it, and hopefully they'll give chase. I'm sure they will. We'll make it look like we're trying to shoot them down. We'll keep them distracted, so Buckaroo and Mara can get in there and get us a new ship.
So let me get this straight. Your idea is to open this ship in deep space.
Listen, not the whole ship. We just need to open. There's got to be like a hatch or something, right?
One door. One door, and it's right next to you.
Hold your breath, everyone.
You
Yeah.
can open that door.
Mara will be fine.
Okay, Mara, this is gonna put you at the top of the initiative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Wait a minute.
is there a point of ingress?
Buckaroo, can't you do something with a giant balloon animal?
I used all of my balloons. I need to get more. Sad face. Sad clown face.
Are there torpedo chutes?
I'm sorry. I might have not heard correctly right at all. Mara, what were you doing for your turn?
Trying to
Looking
establish
for a
how
point of ingress.
I'm gonna talk like I'm 5.
she wants to get out.
Oh, got it. Understood.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think that was a word that most people didn't know. I'm gonna go stand in
You're
the corner.
fine. No, you're fine. You're fine. I should read more books. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to board them.
Got it. Buck, you'll be up in this initiative next.
I will be following Mara with my claw, my pincher wrench ready, my wrench hand ready.
Yax is up in this initiative, and he said, "You're gonna what? You keep that door closed." As it's Lefty's turn.
Skylar, get ready. There's got to be something you can do with those technobots. We're going to need to open it quick, evac them, and we're going to need that door shut. Are you ready?
I gotcha.
All right.
Isn't that like an airlock?
I'm gonna say this is nearly impossible to do. The vacuum of space will instantly
Don't tell me the odds.
pop you guys up. Okay.
Okay, so like my chassis isn't tough enough to handle it then.
No, you guys would be fine. Everyone else, I hope you guys have new characters.
He's saying we can't open the hatch without blowing out.
There's no
everybody.
airlock.
Yeah, no.
Like there isn't a
No.
little chamber in between the doors.
No, it's literally there. It's you're in a
Okay, well
little
then never
dinky-
mind. We can't decompress this chamber. That would screw everyone over.
You're in a little
like-
dinky.
Yeah,
No,
but like how would
but-
we get into it? Like do we just go into like a loading dock or something to get out? Like
Have you ever seen Star Trek? Kind of like the little shuttle
it's
pods?
a shuttle.
Yeah,
So how big is the ship?
Okay, I understand now.
How big is the ship that?
it's like 2 twisters.
No, not our ship. The ship that's attacking us.
The ship that's attacking you is a little bit of larger builds.
Like, would this one fit inside of it? Do they have like a hangar bay?
It would theoretically fit inside.
All right, new plan. Buckaroo and Skylar, can you hack that ship?
I
I
can
believe we would
try.
have to be connected somehow.
It would be possible.
Isn't
But
there the
because
Worm
you're not
network or
physically-
something?
Yeah, like because you're not physically connected, you have to go through their security. But you can definitely make attempts.
Yeah, okay, perhaps we should try and communicate with their ship and see if there's AI on board.
With that, they'll actually put Skylar next to the initiative.
Okay. So I'm gonna do something weird. I need to explain my thought process here, right? So these
Thing.
pirates, they probably have some good loot, right? Like some tribute-like loot. And because they're pirates, they might even keep stuff from each other at times. I have an ability that makes all tributes in an astrosec light up for a D4 days. My thought process is it could confuse them, and they might also notice somebody's been hoarding loot and they're not supposed to, and basically sow dissent and chaos on their ship.
So you definitely know for certain. They might have loot, they might have tributes, they might have stuff, but their good stuff would be kind of like they're not gonna carry it with them. They'll leave it at their hideout, if you will. You know what I mean? As per normal
Okay.
priority things. So they might have stuff, but so you know what I mean? Logically,
Yeah.
they would not just carry their booty with them.
But tributes being
to raid.
small, they might keep them if they think they're going to use them in combat or something.
Uh-huh. And if nothing else, it's like weird that all of a sudden everybody's stuff is glowing, right? So like that's kind of my thought process, is just sowing confusion and whatever, just being weird.
Sure thing. What's the range on that? We'll just
An astrosec.
okay, that's pretty far away. So
And it's for
not only are you gonna confuse them, you're gonna confuse a lot of people.
Yeah. Love it.
So that's a roll for neuromancy, is that right?
Probably.
Yeah, the presence test, since it's using a tribute.
Okay, that's 11 plus 5 is 16. And I spend another neuromancy point.
Yep.
Oh dear. There. That's how I do it. I actually erased my slash, so it said 324 instead of 2 and over 4.
Okay, good stuff. I'm juggling so many things and trying to keep you guys from killing yourselves.
I mean,
I'm so sorry you have to put up with us, Carlos.
yeah.
Listen, being the GM is kind of like being the designated dad for the group. He was like, hey.
All I
it's
gotta
funny-
say is last game in Zoo Mafia, you literally overthrew the bosses. So like you're getting what you deserve.
So check it out. So check it out. In normal gameplay, I will allow players to do whatever they want, even if it's open up an air lash. I just need to make sure the players know the consequences that the characters know. And if you guys are fully aware of it, by all means.
That's valid.
Yep. But like, yeah, no, like I saw him meme the other day where like they kind of said like being the GM is kind of like trying to keep the last endangered panda from killing itself. Like, stop doing that, like stop doing it. You're precious to me. In this
Actually,
initiative,
I
sorry.
think I would have been okay for at least a round or two if we blew the airlock.
Huh.
I got mech style armor.
So, Skylar, you definitely use your neuromancy thing, and tributes are glowing everywhere.
Hey.
I'm not sure what tributes you all have, but they're light brightening up.
Yeah.
The pirates, their tributes are glowing as well. And oddly enough, Bart somewhere is kind of like, what the hell? As all his shit lights up. Just for you guys to know that. Not your characters don't know that, but I want you guys to know that. Flask, you will be next on this initiative.
Right. Well, there's really not much that I can do. Somebody had mentioned like, oh, can we communicate with their ship? So I'm not, the computery kind of person, but I would be happy to assist in any way, shape, or form if that is something I can do.
Absolutely. I will even say you can whip up some sort of with the chemicals and stuff with words with what you have out in terms of like adrenaline and stuff like that. You know what I mean? For your normal thingamajiggers, I'd say stab somebody and give them an assist. It's just going to be a DR-14 presence.
Point two.
Nice. So, who do you select to receive this adrenaline shot?
Well, it was, Lefty said that it was Buckaroo and Skylar was going to be doing the hacking. So who wants me to stab him?
I would think that an adrenaline shot would work better on Skylar.
Eh, I will stab Skylar.
So you can add a +1 to hacking attempt. And with that, we're gonna put Mara at the top of the round.
Okay.
So the current situation is
Yeah.
so the current situation is, though immediate danger of getting shot at is not you're not in that current situation anymore thanks to some crack piloting.
But there's
There
still a
is
threat.
there's still a threat, almost like it's looking around.
Okay. So, is it possible for me to get back at the turret and give us some like cover fire? Like not necessarily trying to shoot them down, but like, you know, deterrent
Yeah, if you were to
or
fire,
prepare to do so, like hold action.
yes, you absolutely. If
Okay,
you
well then
were
that's what
to,
I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna train our guns on them. I'm going to hold until they start doing something offensive again, and then I'm going to shoot them.
okay, so like if they come into view, then you're gonna just unload or
Like, if they look like they're gonna shoot us, yeah.
oh yeah, they're definitely gonna shoot you. Like,
Okay, then yes, if I see them, I will shoot
I
them.
mean, yeah, I guess yeah, there is negative doubt in everybody's mind. These people mean to Maine. Uh, so yeah,
So, Jax, are
um,
these your friends?
man, my buddies. I'll tell you that right now. Buck, that's gonna put you up in the initiative order.
Um, take the tips off my fingers, jack into our ship, and try to communicate and see if I can connect to the ship that it's attacking us over the net or however it's working.
Okay, so as you jack into the system, if you experience cyberspace, kind of how like Tronish type way and whatnot, when you jack into this interface, you see better infrastructure. If you know what I'm saying, like if Tron is like a beautiful New York City in paradise, this is like I'm not trying to offend anyone that may be watching across the world, but it's not a good place you're in.
Gotcha.
Kind of place where you roll up your windows, you know what I mean?
I have been in darker places, but as I look down, I see that my treads are gone, and I have legs like I did in the other in the previous jacked-in situation. Can I try and find a way to communicate with the ship across the way?
Absolutely. So what happens is like because the only I mean while there might be other sorts of machinery around in the area, what happens is you can make a pretty logical determination. This one is the closest one.
Sure.
So as you're kind of like maneuvering through cyberspace to kind of like see what's happening here, you notice two security bots programs type thing. I'm not sure how you're visualizing them. It's their firewall, if you
Okay.
know what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
so you see this as kind of like a digital manifestation and whatnot. Um do you attempt to take down their security?
First, I will try to interact with the security and say, "Pardon me, I believe I'm supposed to have access."
Alrighty, well. Sorry, 1 second here. So immediately as you kind of just like reveal yourself, uh they instantly know you're not supposed to be here. Uh it wouldn't be security if they didn't know, especially robotic security.
Sure.
So with that, what do you do anything besides that, or
Well, if I automatically know that like their hackles are up or whatever, do I see any way to like dive through past them as opposed to fighting them, but just try and get past them to get into the more of the data versus fighting them?
tell you what, I know this is cyberspace, but give me an agility test.
That's what I was hoping for because my agility is better than the rest. Ooh, and I got a eight. Yes, I got a minus. Would the armor count against me since this is not real physical?
This is not cyber, this is
Excellent.
not a physical world, so it
Then I got
won't
a
count
21.
against you. Okay, good stuff. So what happens is like as you dip your way kind of through, you made it past the security, but you haven't actually made it to the good stuff yet, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
But you're past the security, which means a lot.
Excellent.
um, with that, it's going to be transitioning over to Jax. He comes over to the crew like, all right, well, it must have been a joke trying to open up this hatch and whatnot, but is there anything you guys need me to do?
Don't have any spacesuits, do you?
Nah, but sorry about that.
Man.
Actually, wait a minute. As he goes into the back real fast, it is the skinniest and dirtiest spacesuit that can be found.
I am so glad I don't have to wear those.
Well, that would cover either Flask or Skylar.
Okay. Well, you guys decide what you want him to do. We're going to transition over to you, Lefty.
All right. How you doing, Buckaroo?
I imagine am I deep in it? Like, can I imagine since I'm in the system, like I've kind of tuned them out. How do you see it, Carlos?
I definitely, if that's how you want to see it, that's perfectly fine. But I imagine if like you haven't taken any fire,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? You
Okay.
haven't been you have not received damage, you haven't been physically attacked yet or anything like that. So I would say you have some sort of like mental bandwidth, if you will,
Okay.
to kind of like maybe briefly get a
Sure.
message in. So
Processing, still on track. Let me stick with it, please.
Mara, Skylar, can you get in there and help him?
Can try.
with that, Skylar, you're gonna be up.
Okay. Can I try to either help Buckaroo get in, or alternatively ride their connection to hack in myself?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, you don't need to roll for it. Just
Oh, I don't have to.
nah.
Oh, cool.
We're just gonna daisy
you're
chain, and you can just hack in.
Yeah,
Cool.
like you're interfacing with the ship.
Can I give it a command?
No.
Oh.
You have to get past the security. Like the
Can
difficulty doesn't.
security?
That's a question. Can you get past the security?
Sure, let's try that then. I'm trying to figure out what I can do.
So I would imagine Skylar is not a robot.
No.
So the way you might experience cyberspace is through your visor.
Yes.
And what happens is like your nanobots is kind of like creating a digital representation of you in cyberspace, but it's not given solid form, more or less. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a blob with glasses, if you will, going through the space and whatnot. But that's not to say that you're any less capable than being in there. That's just kind of how I see it in my head.
Yeah.
Unless you have a different interpretation.
Nope. I like the idea of an opalescent shimmering blob with a red visor.
Alrighty. So how do you assist in this situation?
I want to go through that security. I want to go through the firewall. I want to break the ice, as the cyberpunks would say.
Alrighty. So if you're just gonna do a run for it, same way Buckaroo did, I would need an agility test.
Agility, not presence, really.
Not presence.
Okay, well, do I have a +1 to this? Because I have a +1 to the hacking from the chemical or whatever.
If you want to use it here, that's fine. But
sure. Yeah, let's use it here.
Sure thing.
Let's go for it. Let's see what we got. That is a 19 + 1, 20 + 1, 21.
Alrighty.
Nice.
So
does that help?
It gets you past. It gets you past.
Yes.
It gets you physically past the security, but that doesn't mean security is down. It just means you digitally circumnavigated them for a second.
So I blobbed through.
Sure, you blobbed through.
Okay. Man, I like these Barnes and Noble dice. They do good for me.
So after that, it's gonna be security bot 1 and 2's turn. Can you find, gentlemen, give me a DR14 agility test?
Everybody in the computer, or
Skylar and Buckaroo?
Yep, definitely did not pass that one.
What was the DR?
14.
Nope. I got a 6.
You're both going to receive 9 points of damage.
Ouch.
How many?
9.
So I'm just like at 0 now.
You got knocked out of the machine. You're not dead, but you got knocked out. It's almost like security did its job in out the club.
I'm at -5.
So you both got knocked out. Okay. So what happens is security did what it was supposed to do, and it knocked you out of this cyberspace. You guys are not dead, but you will be unable to attempt to rehack.
Oh, dang.
So whatever HP you guys were at before, again, this does not affect your physical body, just your digital body, if you will.
Okay, so I still have that. I just I'm locked out of the system. Dang. So going through didn't do me any good.
I can't believe you interrupted my stream. I was doing so well.
So
Okay.
Flask, yours gonna be up the bat.
So do we see them, physically reel back and disconnect?
Yeah. I'll even flavor it a little bit. Again, no damage received in this cyber world. But what happens is like almost like the thing kind of fries up a bit and flares at them, but it's they seem physically okay.
Buckaroo's doing 360s.
Sadly, it looks like that plan is not going to work. Maybe we just need to just try and outrun them and get away.
I mean, there's another cybernetic folk in there. Mara hasn't attempted yet, but
Yeah, what do you guys need me to do? Sorry,
I'm just laying out all the options that your characters will be aware of.
Okay.
Right. Well, if two people attempted and were thwarted before they even got to the center, caution dictates we should probably jet.
Don't worry,
Yeah,
Flask. I have another plan.
not as smart as they are, so it's probably a good idea that I don't.
All right, their ship has passed us.
Their ship. So if Mara doesn't want to attempt to hack it, you're still training the weapons just in case.
Oh, I got a much better plan than that.
Yeah, so in that initiative, assuming Mara is just going to do that, it will be Buckaroo. If you want to attempt anything, we're going to pass it down to Lefty.
No, pass it down.
Okay. So
I am going to leave our landing gear engaged and stay in the landed position. And I'm going to fire up our thrusters I want to push the asteroid at them.
Okay, so you're pushing the asteroid at them.
It's got to be way better than the weapons we have.
That's not impossible. Yep. Just so you have. So let me make sure I'm rehearing that. You have your landing gear.
We've landed on the asteroid, yeah.
Almost like and correct me if I'm getting this analogy wrong, kind of like a bird physically pushing something like that.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a presence test.
Okay. A presence, not a piloting?
Well, piloting presence.
All right.
I mean, it's piloting, but yeah.
Okay, that's a 10 on the die, but I get a +6 to this check.
It's a 16. Okay. So, you know what? I'll even say what happens is like, because I assume you're not just willy-nilly pushing this thing just cause you're looking for the most opportune moments.
Yes. Like maybe they're like coming around looking to see what's on the other side of the asteroid. Boom! Asteroid to the face.
And when that happened, and when they do come around, I do recall Mara said they were having their weapons trained on this ship. And can you please roll me a D4, Mara?
Absolutely. 2.
Alrighty. So, well, again, as Lefty experienced earlier, while you do have weapons, they are not the best weapons. In fact, I'll even repeat what I said. They look like they could use a major retuning, but you have weapons, technically. So this flurry of bullets kind of like catches them very off guard, and even someone not on guard wouldn't suspect this. As Lefty is pushing this asteroid towards this ship, what happens at this point is like the asteroid kind of breaks apart because that's how gravity works. it breaks apart a bit, so it gets a bit easier to push around, and a number of debris kind of like smacks this ship around. That uses up a bit of fuel, but you still have stuff to fly around with. Lefty, can you please roll me 3 die 10?
All right. Okay, that's 11. That is 12.
3 die 10.
Yeah, I rolled a 10 and 2 ones.
Okay, so as this asteroid clunkers them through, it does damage. But at the same exact time, what happens is like it kind of like really catches them off guard. Being a pilot, you can easily tell that their pilot might have gotten knocked back, since they need someone to fly through all this nonsense and whatnot. While not adrift, it kind of looks like it's leaking some sort of fluid, and the ship itself is kind of like you can tell, Lefty, if you were in the situation, what they're attempting to do is disengage and find their own bit of respite.
Mara, shoot the liquid.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Don't we want this ship for our own?
I think that ship has sailed a long time ago. We'll scavenge what we can.
Is everybody else okay with that? Oh no. I not one.
Do you have any favors?
Well,
I do.
hold on, wait. Because in my head, because it was just liquid, non-invasive liquid, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
In my head, the way I was seeing it, because it's non-invasive liquid and stuff like that, firing it, literally fish in a barrel.
Okay. That was my fault for rolling when I was not asked to roll. I apologize.
You're perfectly fine. You're perfectly fine. I just wanted to confirm that's what was happening before, saying anything.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
my
no,
bad
I'm absolutely shooting it. Like, I don't need to be told twice. My partner in crime has made a suggestion.
Got it. So, as this liquid ignites for a second, it kind of travels extremely fast. You all know the vacuum of space is a cold-hearted mistress, but this fuel ignited with the plasma from this blast, even though it is junk lasers, they're still lasers, folks. So what happens is, let me roll my dice briefly. It will do an additional 11 points of damage to this ship. Though definitely still there. They were in a way worse situation than they were a moment ago. So and actually at this point, like, they're not even trying to be super evasive and whatnot. So Lefty, you can make an easy determination that what's happening is that the actual ship's structural integrity may not be able to take super hard dips and dops. You know what I mean? The explosion did push people back a little bit just from the shockwave. So with this ship, we haven't decided on a name on this current ship, right?
No.
If it's a little puddle jumper like that, I mean, would we even bother naming it?
Oh my god, can we
Jax
name it
did
the
it.
Puddle Jumper?
Jax didn't name it, so that's fine
Puddle
with me.
Jumper.
Alrighty. So as the puddle jumper kind of like is getting pushed back a little bit as you guys kind of recenter yourselves and whatnot, is you're gaining distance from this other ship. But that's not to say that the puddle jumper
If they're limping along, can we just disable them?
you can continue to engage. You can definitely continue to engage if that's what everybody wants to do. But I will make note that pushing the asteroid costs a considerable amount of fuel to the actual ship itself. You guys would easily be able to determine you have a one ride way somewhere. Where that somewhere is up to you guys. If you guys want to continue this chase upon this crew, maybe you'll find additional supplies that might help you out. You know, maybe instead of being the raidee, you'd be the raider.
But if that ship is shaking apart.
Well, remember, this is just visual analysis you guys are making. What actually might be true. To the contrary, we'll have to see until you guys land.
Is the ship flying any colors? Does it have any markings?
Yeah, sure. The ship itself is kind of like in a sharp needle nose design. It's blue. The blue paint on it has definitely at this point been scratched out. But anyone who is familiar with kind of like how things are and whatnot, you can tell it's blue. And at the same exact time, there is a lady on the side of it, but she kind of looks like not someone you take home to mom. You know what I'm saying?
Jax, are these your friends?
Man, I don't know them from a can of paint, buddy.
Right,
Did you push an asteroid? Man, you is some crazy son of a bitch. Like, your first idea was to open up the hatch. Then your second idea was to push an asteroid. Whoa! What the hell?
You're just lucky we didn't get to my third idea. All right. Plug in the coordinates to Bert's place, but one final thing. I will begin corkscrewing and doing barrel rolls around their nearly disabled ship before we fly on out. And I'll open a channel. Don't you come back around here, boys. Or because there's a whole lot more of that where that came from. We weren't even trying this time.
I will allow, since this is not no Starfleet, this is a ragtag group of folks. I will let you all say something to these fine folk on this opposite ship if you all wish it. In no particular order, say what you want to say to the limpies, if you will.
Are they up on screen? Can we see people on the other side? Or is it just us sending an audio message to them?
Wasn't it? I mean, Lefty, how is this message being sent?
I mean, I think I would have just did audio.
All right,
because I just wanted to ridicule them on our way out.
You wanted to say something, Buckaroo, or
no? I think what he said.
Skylar will say, "Be better. Have the day you deserve. Kisses."
Oh Lord,
we're gonna have to work on your smack talking.
Are there any more witty retorts?
None from Flask.
Alrighty.
What about Nova? Does she got something to say?
Get good, scrub.
And that's how you do it, Skylar. See, you're gonna have to work with him, kid.
I'm bad at trash talking. I'm working on it.
That's a good thing to be bad at.
Literally just high fives Flask and Mara. Like, fling. Lord. Yeah, I think that's that's exactly what Nova does. Just say get good scrub as the cork scrolling around. Like, alrighty.
So, what do you think? Should we pretend to be shoppers, your buddy Bert's, and case the place? Should we try and work something out with Bert? You know this place better than we do.
As Jax takes a moment to kind of like I can't believe that happens. Jack literally say like, man, I hung around with some pretty unlucky folk. If you can't tell, as you know, he's referring to the zombies in the Kansas. You know what? Pretending to be buyers is not a bad idea. You know, Bert's not the type of person to turn down credits, even if it's just a little bit of window shopping. But you know what? The way you guys handle yourselves as he's looking around the whole Legion, you guys make a crack team, I'll tell you that right now. Someone really put together a good squad. Shit. As he just says, like, you know what? I'll follow your lead.
We're the best squad money, corporate money can buy.
Where are the corporations now?
Well, that's true. Once upon a time, back in my day.
So Jax would definitely he made a suggestion of kind of like maybe pretend to be buyers and whatnot, but he will definitely oblige to what the Legion wants to do.
Maybe I'm thinking maybe I don't know what you guys think, but maybe Skylar could go in with Mara, and Mara could be your assistant, your hired help, your muscle. And I don't know, can you leave any of those techno whatchamajiggers you got behind, to activate later or something?
Actually, not to interrupt any thoughts or conversation, but Flash, you will also know, just to let you know, this is a potential spot to grab any sort of chemicals you may be looking for as well to make your concoction of, according to Lefty, Super Raid. I mean,
I love the idea of going with Mara, but Mara, honey, I think that this world's a little different from the one we come from. So instead of you being my muscle, how about we go in and I'm your arm candy? You be in charge this time.
Interesting.
You're not an owned robot. You're your own person.
Right, I'm my own person. All right, let's do this. What am I trying to do again?
5-finger discount.
Oh.
No, you need to scope out the place so that we can come back later and take everything.
Oh, we're casing the joint.
Yeah, but if there's a little 5-finger discount that happens, like you have 5 fingers, I have 5 fingers, I have a giant gauntlet.
I'm also not as fast as you are.
Hey, Buckaroo, how's that nose thing of yours work?
Once it's recharged, I can give it a honk, honk, and it will disrupt all batteries in the room for a short period of time.
Do you have to be present to activate it?
It has to physically be honked.
Oh, can someone else honk it?
Yes, but I don't like to part with my nose.
Yeah, but didn't you say it also knocked you out?
Yes.
So, like, wouldn't it be better if maybe, like, if there's security or something in there? One of
Have you
the
seen my face?
well, there's that. I mean, either Skylar or Flask, maybe Jax even, could go in there and honk it, not knock out their security.
I would be willing to do that. As long as they do not leave it behind. We will go back for it if it gets left behind. I promise you that.
Well, the idea is it gets honked, then we go in.
That is fair. I'll
So-
agree to that.
Writing. So as you all make a again stellar landing, as you all make this landing, what happens is like you guys are released out and you guys all take a moment to kind of stretch your legs, you know what I mean?
How long was the travel from there, from where we were to Bert's stash?
I would say it was about a day's trip, considering the damage that was taken to the. I'm sorry, the putt. What are we calling this?
The puddle
Puddle
jumper.
Puddle jumper. So yes, according to that, like it would take about a day's worth. Question I have is did the meat bags did the meat bags take any rations or nay? I will let it be known you guys can go 3 days without eating food or drinking, but then you guys would lose D4 HP each day afterwards.
Yeah. I have 8 rations on me, but I'm not sure if those are the 8 that we took from the other thing, or if those are the 8 that I had from when I bought stuff.
That would be the it seems a very specific number. I think that's the 8 that you found on the equipment locker of the Kansas. I'm not gonna mother hawk or mother hen anybody. You guys can take care of your rations if you guys see fit. Just mark them down and whatnot.
So we're getting a full rest and eating rations, right? And rations is like 1 for a whole day.
Yep.
Okay.
So I don't actually have any rations.
Well, I will give you some then. So that's.
I could offer you one of my battery packs, but I don't think it would help.
Flask, did you have rations or do you need some from the?
I do.
You have some?
I do.
Okay. So I took 2 from that, so that'll work.
Right.
I nominate Skylar as our quartermaster.
Hey.
I mean, you're already doing the job.
Yeah.
I concur. Listen, I make the plans and I fly the ship. That's enough on my plate. Also, it's a lot of work making ridiculous plans.
Yep.
So tonight, while we're resting, Skylar wants to basically try to make it a fun night for everybody getting to know each other, icebreaker games, all that fun stuff. It's basically sleepover night.
Okay. Not a problem.
And I have a disguise kit, so anyone who wants mani-pedis or their makeup done can have it done.
Not a problem with me.
I will also offer Buckaroo to retouch up his clown paint.
Thank you. That would be so kind.
Would these concepts be foreign to Jackson Nova just because they live in this kind of dystopian world? Or is there some glimmer of joy that has carried on through this past 100 years of horror?
With your brief interaction with the world, something as mundane as a pedicure is literally a full spa day type treatment in our world. You know what I mean? It is so rare. You're more than likely to see bullets come your way than kindness in this world. So, you know, like the Jax doesn't look like he's budging too much and jumping at the opportunity, but Noah's definitely curious to what the hell's going on. Especially if Mara's gonna like, especially if Mara and Flask are gonna like partake in this experience.
And for reference, Skylar can do makeup not just femininely, so
Hey, polish in there. I think you can use some polish, some
Yep.
rusties,
yep.
some Brillo up in there.
I don't know how much Flask wants to get into, pampering, but if we're looking to try and have a different persona for going into this place, he'll accept that ruse.
Okay.
I love the role play inception.
uh,
Role playing and your role playing. I like it.
exactly. And then also Skylar wants to set up a flashlight in the middle of a circle and tell ghost stories.
I just envision Jax and Nova being nonplussed by the ghost stories because what they've actually been living through is much worse.
Yeah.
And then for a brief moment, as soon as you turn on the flashlight for this, Jax almost snaps, saying, "Why are you wasting batteries?" As he kind of realizes what he's kind of embarrassing himself for a minute. He's like, you know what, whatever. And kind of moves into the next room.
You good, bud?
I think
Nova
Jax may be a liability.
Nova chimes up and says, no, I mean, he's fine. It's just that here, everything costs something. That flashlight, that's a battery charge. The truth is, we don't know when's the next time. Might find some respite. We might find, a place to recharge these batteries without draining the ship's resources.
Skylar will turn off the flashlight and we'll send out a couple of the nanobots to occupy the area and flit around with fireflies inside.
That is dope.
And then Skylar will be like, you can come back if you want. I didn't mean to make you mad. I'm just trying to help everybody get to know each other and have some fun.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I gotta clean my gun real fast. I'll be there in a minute.
Skylar will run up to Jax and be like, no, look, I'm not trying to disrespect your way of life. I understand. This is a different time from what we're used to. I'm just trying to help everybody get acclimated and maybe give you a little bit of a relief. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to make waves or waste your batteries.
No. I get it. I get it. Normally, if certain situations different, I get it. It's just that, when you're thinking about where your next meal's coming from, you don't really know. You're not too keen on like using up resources, but no, you're fine folk. You're fine folk. You know, so
Yeah.
water on the proverbial bridge.
Okay. Yeah, I'll admit I'm not the best at perspective when it comes to planning ahead. I I don't have a lot of memories. They got erased with something. I think it has to do with this gauntlet and these burns I got on my body. So I just kind of live in the moment, you know? It
Mm.
it makes it easier. Find the joy where you can, because you never know when everything will be gone, whether it's taken from you by force or a wormhole, or maybe you just lose the memory.
I completely get it.
But I don't ever want you to feel disrespected by my actions.
Oh no, like nah, you're perfectly fine. It's just things that have been easy. Tell you what, I'll be in there in a minute.
Okay.
I'll be in there in a minute, but I really do gotta clean these guns real fast.
Okay. All right.
You know, like it's best to have a well-tuned weapon than
Yeah.
need it when we need it. And well, I'll be there in a minute.
Right.
As
Now that,
you know, yeah, Jax definitely gives you kind of like a nod. And
all right.
he's kind of like, going back to
Yeah. Skylar,
anyone who saw me do that in real life who knows firearms, no, I have never disassembled a gun in my life. So I'm like scrubbing thumbs up. Like you got these military. Nah, that's not me. I'm just like, all right.
You put them in the dishwasher and run it through a cycle, right? That's how that works.
Right. Jax knows how to disarm and clean his firearms. Carlos does not. Right.
oh, okay. Yeah. Skylar's ghost stories are probably mostly going to be like scary stories to tell in the dark variety.
Nice.
So nothing like crazy or out there, just like, baseline.
I would imagine that Flask attempts to, join in on the scary story. And this is where, like, you realize, like, he doesn't have the same thought patterns that everybody else does. He comes up with these very, like, innovative beginnings, and it all has to do with, biology and chemistry and, like, well, in essence, similar to some of the aspects of what Vasgrim already has out there, but none of the thrill, none of the horror ever really comes through, and there's no easy way for him to like get to the scare part. So like he's got a good build, and then it just kind of like falls off, and it's like, and that happened.
Like, not to be like a nerd, I can imagine like it ends with, and the equation wasn't equally balanced. Ooh.
Nah, like he understands the scare part, like oh, the thing that was in the test tube that grew to 100 times, and blah blah blah. You know the conveyance of the horror, like that aspect, Flask would fall short on. Like somebody who is far more imaginative than him could like take that and turn it into something, but Flask just doesn't.
That's what editing is for.
So in all of that, so in those parts where kind of like you're getting into the grotesque details, you see Nova's face kind of like, yo, what the hell? And you're getting the reaction you're setting out for, but as you say, when you get deeper into the nitty-gritty science points, you can easily tell that she checks out for a moment here and there, you know. But when you get back to the horrific details, she's like, she's re-engaged in your story.
And then Nova goes on and tells a story, and it turns out it was her Tuesday.
I want to tell a ritual creepypasta.
You know what? I'll indulge it. What is this creepypasta?
No, I mean, I'm just like describing all of the things that you have to get together to communicate with some kind of evil spirit and all of the things that could possibly go wrong while you're doing so. Like, it reads like a to-do list, but it is genuinely creepy.
Nova kind of she kind of like hears all this, and then it's like, sounds like using a tribute.
Kind of.
Does Buckaroo have any horrific things they want to?
No, I like to joke around. I think I will leave the scary stories to other people.
And how about Mr. Lawson?
I think he would abstain as well.
Really? He doesn't have a horror story about Tom Nook?
Well, you know what? Maybe he will tell the story of Dr. Freakenstein. And how he made his machine monster come to life. Basically, he just talks about his accident and waking up on the operating table. And then it gets worse. He quickly learns that the Galactic Research Institute for Mysterious Materials owned every one of his parts and funded the surgery, and he would have to work for them for all eternity till his debt was paid off for free.
Nova totally was there. She was there with this whole story, but then when you started talking about debt, and I was like, she looks more confused than scared. Around this point, Jax, or unless Mari, you creepypasta, that's right. Jax would re-enter the room, be like, "Oh, I got a story."
All right, let's hear it.
As the nanobots kind of flare around or whatever, there was this organization working on some weaponry and whatnot. The crew thought it would be a good score. No problem, right? Big way to kind of make their way in this life. It's a routine job. Kind of chuckles. Sounds like as he kind of like veers off for a moment, almost like cutting halfway through what he's saying. Anywho, job didn't go as planned. Around this time, Nova kind of like looks away, kind of like, yeah, just chimes out damn near completely. And it was an explosion of some kind. Someone set the charge wrong. Happens. Then Jax realizes, and the end. And he just sits down and looks around for like a little bit of kind of like some bit of hard liquor, if you will. I mean, his last little bit of it. To the black hole surfers. Hurrah, hurrah.
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 As he takes a shot of what he has left. I would imagine after a night of revelry, moves get lifted. You guys get a chance to talk more about yourselves, hopes, dreams, wants. All in the enthusiasm of not going back to the all enthusiasm of not going back to your original world, coming from some folk in the room. And you guys make your way towards kind of like the spot where a little bit deeper into the wastelands, and you guys find the spot to land your ship. I'm just gonna say your ship because I've got the name again, but I'll remember it after the stream.
Puddle jumper.
Puddle jumper, thank you. So as you guys land the puddle jumper, are you? I can very safely assume you're not landing it right on the front door of Bart's.
No, we want them.
stash.
We want Bert. We want Bart. Is it Bart or Bert?
Bart.
We want them.
B-A-R-T.
We want them to think we have credits. Showing them our ship would not help that.
So, as you guys, so can I safely assume you guys are gonna like land somewhere within like walking distance, but not in complete view?
Correct.
Lefty, what if we said that this is our ship that we just take from the bigger ship? This is just the jumper ship from the main ship, and our main ship is still out in orbit.
Do we think they might have sensors or radar to detect that?
Jax will definitely let you all know that it's almost, while still a tiny location, Bart and his men are armed to the teeth. You know, while they're definitely not the kind of folk to turn away a customer. So he's definitely not going to open fire like as he sees you guys come down or whatever. But you know, you can easily say caution is advised, but he won't be openly hostile to anybody first, as long as there's business to be done.
So I guess part of my line of thinking was that personally, I think I'm going to stay back with the ship, as not to like spook him or make him suspicious. I think if we all go in there, you might think there's more to us because we kind of look like mercenaries, I guess.
So
that was my thought anyway.
Okay.
Jax, do you have any communication devices? Oh, we did have communication devices, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So if the two of you just go in, then you can just let us know when it's time for assistance.
Okay. So Jax definitely tells Nova, like, you're staying here. You're not coming in. Nova, she's pouting like a kid, you know, that's pretty normal. But like, well, it's like, you know, she knows when Jax does something to kind of like just go with it type attitude. So Jax will be going in. Who else will be coming in as well? Okay. And Mara, I believe, right? If I remember correctly. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It would. Oh, nice.
Skylar, here's the nose. Just honk it twice for it to shut down all batteries.
Okay. Are you okay with that, Mara?
I mean, as long as you can bring me back after.
Okay.
Are you strong enough to drag me out?
No.
All right. Well, dang, if that happens, somebody else is gonna have to come retrieve my carcass then. Lefty, you got me?
Yeah, we'll get you out, but maybe how far out does the pulse go?
It's just one room.
Well, maybe
Oh.
maybe you should step in the other room when Skylar activates it.
Should
I'll
we have a
pretend to have an
code word?
oil leak and go to change it.
Or if they
Yeah,
have like a security room, that would be the best place to activate it.
What's our safe word?
You mean to honk the nose?
Yeah,
Avocado.
avocado. All right.
Solid.
So, Skylar will drape his arm over Mara's so that it looks like they're going in together.
Okay. Is Flask also going in?
No, I'll stay back to ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Um,
swagger.
So like as Jack, Skylar, and Mara venture their way in. As you guys make your approach, out of view of you guys are just look like you're just coming up, and what seems kind of normal, Jax kind of throws his hands up like, let's get this over with, boys. As he kind of like signals Mara and Skylar to like, put your hands up as well. And he turns around and says, all right, we're not going on a date. Let's make this quick, all right? As their men is checking you all for weapons and whatnot. And he says, like, hey, you want to go in, see Bart? No problem. Just give us your weapons real fast. We'll hold them here. No biggies. Jax hands over his bank stick. Yeah, I know, man. Puts in his shells.
Yeah, I will pass over all of the weapons that I have on my person because I can punch harder than any of them are going to do me any good.
Exactly.
Skylar has everything built into their gauntlet, and Skylar's like, this doesn't come off.
Kind of eyes it for a second. What is it?
It's a gauntlet. These can heal, so it's not a weapon.
Wait here for a second. He kind of veers off for a moment as he looks like he's talking on a walkie. Takes a glance over. Comes back. It's like, doesn't come off.
Not yet.
He kind of like says, extend your arm. And he gives it a tug. Does it come off? I don't know. I don't know if you're being deceptive or
no. Well, how
was
we
it actually built
said
in?
it was that the nanobots chose Skylar, and so they kind of like infused in their blood, and so it's kind of like a symbiosis going on. So Skylar's not been able to take it off since then. It's
So
kind of up to you if it works.
So it's fine. As he gives it's your character. I just need to know how it works. So like as he gives a tug, it's like, yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty.
And walks off real fast. Anyone who's read body language looks like he's talking to his superior, kind of like, okay, it's not coming off. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. I tugged. Yes, I tugged. Yeah.
You don't have to make it sound so suggestive.
Yeah, it's I go in as he waves you guys to actually come to the compound. As you guys are making your way through, you guys see an assortment of kind of like oddities here and there. Equipment that you normally wouldn't find elsewhere. Now, it's almost like you guys running kind of like an underground pawn shop where it's like, you know, you don't know if these are legit or garbage. But they're definitely all made of different sorts of like items around here. And as you guys make your way through, those with nostrils can easily tell like the air is filled with some sort of like rust and oil. And as you guys are making your way through, you guys see a number of men. They look like it's almost like you're walking through kind of like an encampment, if you will. It's almost like you're walking through kind of like a tiny army. He's like, hey, whatever. Okay, how you doing, Chuck? And as he's moving on back, and like, Jack says, Bart, let's make this quick. You know, I'm only here as long as I need to be. I got some folks that want to do some business with you. And you see this tall statured fellow. You notice that like though big in frame, he has layers of girth on him, as if like though life is definitely hard in these realms, it doesn't look like he's suffering at all whatsoever. You know, he's wearing sort of like clothes of flamboyant nature, where it looks like he physically chose not to match anything. Bright colors popping here and there, but definitely made of different material, almost like just to show off his luxuriousness. And as he makes his way into the room, Jax, it's a pleasure to see you again. Hey, I want to show you something. He's like, come on. As he tries his best to kind of make a whistle while his lips are getting in the way of it all. You know, I'm a collector of rare oddities. This is by far the oddest thing I've seen. As Mara and Skylar definitely knows what this oddity is. It is indeed a Totobot.
I press my hands together. I take a deep breath. I let it out. I silently count to 10. I'm going to make a bonobo roll to see if I punch it out of reflex. I nat 1. Skylar, stop me.
Skylar will see that and be like, oh, look over here, and like swing Mara physically toward something else. And I
punch the wall instead.
You could punch Jax for all this. Jax, he would definitely just take it in the shoulder real fast.
That's funnier, so I will totally go with that.
Sure.
I have 2 questions. How far did we travel to get here?
To not be seen, not about 30 minutes.
Okay. So then, second question. Is anything glowing in here?
All his shit's glowing.
Everything's glowing.
Oh, how long does this thing last again?
I rolled a D4 because it's D4 days, and I rolled a 3. So for 3 days, everything in an astrosec is glowing.
Jax, you wouldn't believe the situation I found myself in. Like out of nowhere, all of my items are just glowing. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just, I swear to God, it's not a defect. You know I only trade in the most reputable of items and whatnot. But I must ask, what brings you my place away from home? From my place away from home. How can I help you, buddy? Look, these people are downer look. Hey, I figure I introduce him to you. Man, like can't do much in the sector in the way of dealing with you. And he's gonna retort. He know a way to butter me up. As he turns to Mara and Skylar. So, what can I do you for?
Well, I was just wondering what sort of wares you have. I do have credits. And frankly speaking, I just have to say, Jax really didn't do you justice. Like, I love all of this and just like gesturing to the entire ensemble. Like, as you can see, love some fashion myself. I think you pull it off better.
Indeed. As he looks over to your gauntlet. I see you have some sort of equipment there. Are you interested in a trade?
Not this, unfortunately. It doesn't really come off. It's kind of part and parcel of me now, I guess. But actually, this is my sugar daddy, and pulls over Mara. Like, I think they might have something, like some interest that you might be able to fill.
As he extends a hand to Mara. Do you shake hands or nay? Mara.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know you were frozen or not. Just want to make sure. So
I was, but not in the electronic way.
He says like, pleasure to meet your acquaintance. It's not my custom to not do business without, proper introductions.
Name is Mara.
Art.
It's a good one.
With this brief introduction and with this new oddity of canine persuasion that you guys see in front of you, thoughts go through your head. Flash was talking about in previous days ago. It would have been nice to have the information back at the cave. You guys can make a very decent gesture that this may be the very same Totobot that you left down in the planet. And with that, I think that is where I'm going to end tonight's chaotic session.
Of course you are.
That makes sense. Oh,
Damn Totobot.
They are everywhere.
I thought we were done with them.
And your little dog too.
That's when you thought you were done. I'll reel you right back in.
Well, next week, hopefully, we'll find out what's going on with these Totobots, where it came from, and how did it get sucked into the Singularity 2, and did Dorothy survive? Who knows?
Ooh.
No one knows. Well, thanks for running, Carlos. Thanks for everyone for playing. Of course, thank you, everyone, for watching. And until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Nerdy.